Victor, thank you so very much for joining us. Can we just begin very broadly? Why this attack on Israel and why now? And then we'll unpack that further.
Well, the general reason why attack, I think that there was a general perception, and we can go to why now in October, but there was a general perception in Israel that they had never been wealthier, they have never been more successful. I've been there the last 2 summers. I talked to a lot of people in the government. There was a general perception on the Israeli part that they had 20,000 guest workers coming in every day nearly, and that argument, they had accepted that these people were very well paid and they were supporting another 100,000 in Gaza. They were ready with the renewal or the rebooting, I should say, of the Abrams Accord. There had been you talk to Israelis, they were kind of relieved that the Iran deal effort to 2.0 had failed. So I think there was a general sense on the Israeli part of complacency because of their sheer success. It was almost talking to a lot of Israelis that they thought, we've been so magnanimous now with bringing in guest workers and we're reaching out to the Arab world that they're going to look at our success, and they'd never been wealthier or more successful. It's just a stunning country to see, versus 20 years ago. It's got a higher standard of living in many ways than we do here in the United States. And I think they thought that magnanimity would be reciprocated in kind rather than a source of envy and anger that would create a nihilism about people who were not able to do that. And that's just the general atmosphere. More specifically from the Hamas side, I think they looked at the huge left-wing demonstrations against the Netanyahu government. There were reservists who were not reporting for annual call-ups. There was a sense that Israeli society was bifurcated. They wanted to stop this Abraham renewal, that was clear. And they felt that Iran had been given a blank check and they had more rockets and Hezbollah would help them. And that all gave them a sense that the Israelis are not going to they have no idea what we're up to. We've been planning this a year. We're going to stop the Abrams Accord. We're going to really shock the world. And then the final third player in this triangle is, of course, the United States, John. And we, in this administration, had put Robert Malley in charge of the Iran deal. He has now lost his job. He's lost his security clearance. He was obviously loose, and that's a euphemism, with classified documents. He brought pro-Iran nationals and Iranian Americans into the State Department. And that sent a message to Iran that this administration really did want to appease them. They were begging to go back on the Iran deal. The Afghanistan disaster, the $50 billion in weapons, the Ukraine invasion of Putin, our open border, the Chinese balloon, it all cemented a picture that Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran had formed that the United States either could not or would not do what they did, say, the prior 4 years under Trump. They knew they would not do something like bomb the blank out of ISIS or kill Soleimani. And they thought it was an opportune time. And they didn't think they'd ever have a time like this again.
So if we can examine those three major players for a moment, just drill into it.
Yeah.
As you say, a very, very prosperous Israel, asleep at the wheel to external dangers, deeply divided, it seems, over reforms to their legal system. What impact, in your judgment, will this horrific event have had? Will it be galvanizing? To what extent will it be galvanizing?
Yeah.
What sort of willpower and capacity will emerge, in your view?
Well, I think that their original plan was to go in and take 100 or 200 captives, which in itself would be a coup, and kill some soldiers. But in their bloodlust, they not only killed over 1,000 civilians, but they desecrated, mutilated their bodies. They attacked women and children. They burned them. It was pre-modern. It was pre-civil. It reminded me something of Bernal Diaz in his account of the Aztec human sacrifices, the mutilation. And so they really inflamed Israel justifiably in a way that we had never seen it before. And they've woken up. And the reaction is going to be exactly like the Yom Kippur, except to the nth degree. And I don't think Hamas understands that this is the first time in our lives, John, that there's no restraint to speak of. I know Joe Biden will go over there and he'll say, do this and do that and do that. but he's not going to stop this righteous retribution of Hamas. And then Hezbollah is talking, and Iran is talking, and beating their chest, and tomorrow is supposed to be a day of reckoning, but they don't understand that they're widely despised and the Western is sick of them, and Europe is clamping down on their own unassimilated immigrant Muslim populations, and we are getting very angry at ours. You have a problem as well in Australia. And I think there's no patience anymore. The second thing is that Joe Biden is not leading events, he's being driven by events. And if they have 100,000 rockets, I should say, in Lebanon, if they get full of themselves and they send, 5,000, 4,000 at the U.S. fleet, perhaps one might hit it, a lot might hit it. But they don't understand that there's no patience with them anymore. There's no restraint on the United States. Russia is bogged down in Ukraine. China has two concerns. One, anything that hurts the United States, they're up for. But number two, that what overrides that initial agenda is they don't want 40% of their oil disrupted. And they don't want a big war in the Middle East, not right now with economic difficulties. And what that means is the clients of Iran are not going to be eager to get into a war with the United States or the West in general. And so Iran has no client, it has no backup. And I don't know if they know that. They keep thinking because of the weakness in this administration that it's systemic and it will continue forever. But I don't think that Joe Biden will be able to stop the righteous anger if they do something stupid. And they may well do something stupid because we've lost a turn.